welcome to Deeksha Vedantu. I'm your Aditi Mam, and today we are going to look into a very important topic, that is your human digestive system. Now, one question is guaranteed to come in your board examination from this particular topic, so make sure you don't skip this video and watch till the end, and subscribe Deeksha Vedantu for more such videos. Now, first bacha, starting with, of course, we have to make this diagram. Okay, now first let's say we start with obviously our mouth, right? But let's understand through the science language. Okay, so we obviously start with mouth, that is eating, right? Now beta, that is ingestion or oral processing, right? Now in ingestion or oral processing, the first thing that the food encounters is your mouth, right? Now what is happening in mouth? In mouth we are chewing, so we are performing mechanical digestion, right? Our teeth are performing mechanical digestion. You'll remember that. Then coming on to tongue. Now what your tongue helps in? Your tongue helps in tasting the food, right? Positions food and mixes it with saliva, and there only on tongue we have so many taste buds that lets us see that this is spicy, this is sweet, right? Then bacha, we already also have saliva. Now saliva comes from salivary glands. We have two salivary glands somewhere here. Okay. Now in this saliva contains salivary amylase, that is ptyalin. What? It contains salivary amylase. Okay, salivary amylase, which converts starch into maltose. Starch into maltose. This is something that you have to remember. Okay, now saliva is some watery fluid containing enzymes and mucus that moistens our food. Okay. Now bacha, next coming on to have, now our food goes from the mouth into our stomach, we know, but there should be a road through which it travel. That road, that pipe is esophagus. Now esophagus bacha, it's a windpipe, pipe-like structure, not windpipe, it's a pipe-like structure, right? That does contraction and relaxation. Now if you just leave food, there is friction inside our body as well, right? If you just leave food, it might not go down, right? It might not pass my esophagus. So my esophagus is contracting and relaxing like this. So it's continuously pushing the food down. That's what it is doing. Done. And it propels the bolus, that is your food, towards the stomach. Now comes the stomach. Now bacha, stomach is a very good organ. How? Because it has gastric indigestion. Gastric digestion happens in it. What is that? So just like salivary glands, we have gastric glands, right? That produces gastric juices. Now inside that gastric juices, we have three things. That is pepsin, hydrochloric acid, and mucus. Now what is pepsin used for? Pepsin used to convert protein into peptides. Okay, this converts our proteins into peptides. That is very healthy. From there the nutrients are extracted and digestion happens. Okay, but the thing is that this pepsin, that is proteolysis, this happens only at low pH. Only at low pH. Low pH means acidic. Now for that we need an acid. So stomach is like, okay, I'll give you acid as well. So it produces HCl, which does what? It lowers the pH. It activates pepsin, right? Also we know acid kills bacteria. So it kills ingested microbes. Sometimes we eat something bad, there are bacteria in it. So the HCl in our stomach, it kills that small microbes as well. Okay. Then moving on to mucus, but the mucus protects gastric epithelium from corrosive HCl. So we have this lining in the stomach. Obviously HCl is very very like destructive, right? It eats up everything that touches it. So how does my body has HCl in it? That's because there is a lining outside the stomach. Inside the part of the stomach, there is a lining that protects us from the HCl, and this HCl also protects gastric epithelium from corrosive HCl. That is your mucus. This mucus creates HCl, helps HCl, keeps it away from our stomach than all the other parts of the body. Okay. Next bacha we have, now it's in stomach. Does it just directly come out after stomach? No, it goes to small intestine. What happens? First mouth, we eat it, do the mechanical chewing, there is saliva, then this goes into esophagus, it transports with contractions and relaxations into our stomach. There we have gastric juices which digest, which converts our proteins into peptides, and HCl helps in it. Mucus protects our stomach lining from HCl, right? Now after that, after the food is digested, not all the food is digested in one go, okay? So stomach sends this food to small intestine where final digestion and absorption of nutrients, of proteins, of fats, carbohydrates happen. So what happens? In small intestine, small intestine is like, I can't do this alone, let me get help of my friends. What are the friends? Liver and pancreas, okay? So from liver, a bile juice secretes, and that bile juice, it stores bile juice, okay? It emulsifies fats, it breaks down fats that are still present in our food. It breaks down those fats and helps in digestion, okay? Then pancreatic juice given by pancreas, right? It contains amylase, that is your carbohydrate, that breaks your carbohydrates. It creates trypsin, that breaks down your proteins, and lipase, that breaks down your fat. So what? Amylase, that breaks down your carbohydrates, trypsin, that breaks down your proteins, and lipase, that breaks down your fats. Understood? These are produced by pancreas, pancreatic juice. Bile juice is actually produced by liver, but it is stored in gallbladder, okay? Now that is what is happening inside small intestine. So what actually is happening through all these juices is the carbohydrates are being converted into glucose, which goes into our cells to produce energy. This proteins converts into amino acids, and fats it converts into glycerol plus fatty acids. That's the main use of all the secretions that are happening in liver and pancreas going into small intestine. Now comes the absorption part. Beta, from all these occurs through this absorption. There are villi, like finger-like projections. These finger-like projections, okay, like these finger-like projections. These nutrients enter blood vessels and then to cell. Through these villi-like structures, our nutrients that we extracted from our food, they enter to blood vessels, and from there they move on to cell, because eventually cells are the one that's producing energy, right? So that is what happens in the small intestine, okay? Now, ma'am, is that done? After just we just excrete it? No. After that, the food still needs to be digested a little bit more. So we go into large intestine. Now what happens? Water reabsorption and formation of feces. So water reabsorption actually happens in your large intestine. What happens? It absorbs water and electrolytes. We talk about electrolytes a lot, right? So all that minerals in the water, it reabsorbs back into our body and helps us to get energy, right? So it reabsorbs and it concentrates the waste. Once you remove all the water from the food, it will be a solid waste, and that's what feces are, right? So microbial fermentation may produce gases and short chain fatty acids. So because of this, some acidic gases can also be produced in your body, and undigested food moves to the semi-solid mass, to the rectum, and now finally through the large intestine, mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and after the large intestine it moves to the rectum, and there bacha egestion happens. Now you must know what's the difference between egestion and excretion, and you let me know that in the comment section, and if you don't know, you can go watch the one shot. It's already uploaded on the channel, okay? Now bacha, this rectum stores our fecal matter. All the solid waste in our body is being stored by our body at this place called rectum. Now defecation expels waste via the anus, and through the anus we eject out the waste, right? Now term egestion, actually removal of indigestible unabsorbed material from the body. Done. These are this egestion. What egestion actually means? It is the removal of indigestible food, the food that we can't digest, that is now waste. Our body can't get more nutrients nutrients from it, and the water, all the nutrients are already absorbed, so more nutrients can't be absorbed from that food or body, so that our body kicks out. Okay, so what we did, we mouth, mechanical chewing, tongue, and tongue gives us, it positions the food, we taste the food, saliva, esophagus, through esophagus it comes to stomach where the food is digested. The carbohydrates are converted into glucose, proteins into amino acids, fats into glycerol and fatty acids, and then it goes into small intestine. This is your small intestine. It's actually larger in length than your large intestine, but it's like a globe of mass, so it looks smaller, so it's called small intestine. Okay, so this small intestine actually takes help from liver and pancreas, that is bile juice and pancreatic juice, to convert all the material and digest all the nutrients. And from here, villi, through villi, finger-like structures, these nutrients are absorbed in the blood vessels and they go into the cells. Oh, I said conversion of carbohydrates into glucose in stomach, right? That actually comes into small intestine. Okay, and beta, in large intestine, finally we reabsorb the minerals from the water, and feces are being developed in rectum. These are then stored, and through anus we egestion happens. That means it kicks out the indigestible and unabsorbed food. Okay, that's it for the whole digestion. We did it actually in 11 minutes. That's great, because this gives you short 5 marks in your science, in your biology. Okay, and this is very important. The diagram is super important, so make sure you practice drawing it again and again. Okay, bacha, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe to the channel. Bye.